Let's say that we have a function f, and it's the product of two other functions, which we'll call u and v. So f equals u times v, and both u and v are functions of x. So now if we want to take the derivative of f with respect to x, how could we do that? You might guess that it's just the derivative of u times the derivative of v. And you'd be wrong. That's not the derivative. This is a really common mistake. Let's try again and see if we can figure out what this derivative should be. So we have u and v getting multiplied together, and that gives us f. So we can kind of think of f as the area of a rectangle, where the lengths are u and v. Now we can find df, which is the amount that f increases if we make the rectangle a little bit bigger. So we'll extend v a little bit, and we'll extend u a little bit. And df corresponds to this new area that we've just created. And we created it by adding a very small u at the top, so du, and a very small amount of v on the side, so dv. Now it should be easy to figure out the new area that we've created, the df. We'll just split it into parts and then add up the areas of each part. First, this rectangle here on the right. It has a height of v, and it has a length of du, so that area must be v times du. Now we'll look at this bottom rectangle. It has a length of u and a height of dv, so its area must be u times dv. Lastly, there's this little tiny square in the corner. Now, if u and v are very large compared to du and dv, that square will be infinitesimally small relative to those areas, so we can actually just ignore it. Okay, so we've found df, but what we really want is df over dx, the derivative of f with respect to x. So we'll just divide the whole equation by dx. And that is the derivative of f with respect to x, where f is the product of u and v. And it's such an important equation that it has its own name. It's called the product rule. So now that we've derived the product rule, let's use it for an equation f of x equals x squared times sine of x. And we want to find the derivative of f, so df dx. So in my equation, my two factors are x squared, which we'll call u, and sine of x, which we'll call v. And so from the product rule, I know that the derivative of uv is v times the derivative of u, or u prime, plus u times the derivative of v, or v prime. Now we can start solving. V is sine of x, and then u prime is the derivative of x squared, so that will be 2x. Then we'll add to that u, which is x squared, times v prime, which is the derivative of sine of x, which is cosine of x. Now usually I like to write my coefficients in front of sine and cosine, so we can rewrite this as 2x times sine of x plus x squared times cosine of x. And that's how you calculate derivatives using the product rule.